Ba-bam. Hello. Oh, sorry. Cleaning up. Hello, my friends. How are you all doing today? Hello, Felicia. Hello, Chemo. Hello, Joy. Today, my friends, we have a wonderful program, and the menu is Chiaroscuro for you. With I'm super excited. One of my all-time favorite artists. If you're a regular of the channel, you know my eternal love for this guy who painted this, Caravaggio. Absolutely, I love the artist. What can I say? And I was announcing the assignment. Somebody said, "Whoa, I like him as well, but the thing is, the problem is, he killed a guy." Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad, ain't it? It's bad, but you know, he kind of used art as a redemption, and can you find a better redemption arc than making some of the most insanely good chiaroscuro art? I want to give him the I would have spared his life, like really. He had a troubled life, but let's not mix the art and the man, shall we? Let's just enjoy the art for what it is, and let's enjoy the art and separate it from the artist. No, not vertical, really ruins my experience to seeing you paint. Yeah. Well, Techno Dad, if you want, the horizontal streams are also on Patreon afterwards, so this is where I re-upload the horizontal versions. I'm sorry, YouTube just doesn't want to send a lot of viewers my way when I stream horizontal, and it's much better for discovery. So at the moment, like, YouTube is clearly pushing me to do vertical. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to just think numbers, but like sometimes I have to think numbers. It's like I can stream to almost nobody because nobody wants to discover videos. Like, YouTube doesn't want to send the notifications. Not everybody has the bell and all, so you know. But they are all on Patreon. Just saying. So the horizontal recordings. And but yeah. So yeah, vertical it is. That's the thing of the moment. I don't know. They're trying to push this sort of the TikTok sort of algorithm in a way. I don't know. Don't ask me how this platform functions. I saw that today they're sort of starting to launch a couple new features on YouTube. Sorry, I'm gonna clean my palette from this afternoon. Actually, I'm gonna start over because this was for a different subject that I did this afternoon. So yeah, YouTube is launching a bunch of new features. Apparently, there's going to be a sort of a new community space on YouTube. I don't know what they're trying to do. If they're trying to basically copy Patreon style kind of community, or if they're doing something more like, I don't know. I don't think it's Discord like. Whatever. I think maybe it's just an extension of the memberships. Not sure exactly. I have to explore this. Launching new features, so maybe maybe with these new features they'll include more of an emphasis in streaming. I think they are slowly going to integrate in regarding streaming. They're going to start with kind of like the things that pop on TikTok lives. kind of jewels or something like this. Maybe just to encourage people to make donations during streams. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but for the moment, yeah, let's be honest. It works more with vertical, and it's not like, it's already like I don't have huge numbers, so every kind of visibility and discovery that I can get, I take it. So that's the thing for the day. Sorry, maybe you want to see the palette. I don't need to readjust this. Salut Juan Vladimir. Hello Sid. Use Restream can do multi-streaming. Yeah, I can. Why would I? Why would I split my audience? That's already pretty limited. That's the problem. Okay, let me adjust. So I don't want this scene. This is my drawing scene. I want this one. It's been a while, my friend. It's been a while. Okay, so yeah, let's go. Checking if everything is in order, and we're gonna talk about the chiaroscuro. So this painting is from. Let me try to check if I think, because this is a detail of a painting. Let me try to see if I have the full. Just checking if I have full version. Where is it? Where is it? Oh yeah, I do have it. Okay, so open a new document, switch cams. It's extremely dark, so I'll give you that. It's extremely dark, but this is it. This is what we are capturing, and as you note, you'll be happy to know that I sort of tried to digitally correct the dirty varnish that unfortunately captures like 50% of the light that we should be receiving. Like, it's so dark and dim. This is the simplified version. So if you're level 1, you're going to do that with a sort of grisaille palette. So simplified version, pretty cool. Simplified version in color. You might try this one. It's not more difficult really than level 1. It's the same with simplified, simplified shapes. You disregard the brush. It's like digital stuff here, so you don't have to follow it. And if you do level 3 like me, you do this, and you'll see it's not that complicated. So it's coming from this one here again. So the denial of Saint Peter by Caravaggio, and see, I've corrected. I tried to be gentle in the correcting, to not be too not take too many liberties. I don't know exactly. I'm not a professional in this sort of operation. I don't know exactly how it was originally. A professional restorator would have a better idea of how the colors would be supposed to work, even though most of the time they mostly guess. In my case, I tried to stay faithful to how the painting actually looks today, which is abysmally dark. And I can tell you, it's chiaroscuro and all, it wasn't this dark in the beginning. Obviously, it was slightly. Let me try to adjust it for you. using a filter mask. So it was, first of all, it was less yellow and just the value. So this is a curve. You see how much more you can see just by adjusting the values, but it's so dark. You can really force it if you want. You lift off the darks, and then you have to remove a lot of yellow because the yellow comes from the varnish. You can see already a lot more. You can see what's going on, but the problem is like it completely messes up the colors. So I tried to un-yellow it slightly. I tried to make it slightly less yellow, which I think is more what Caravaggio originally had, based on, you know, my knowledge and my experience from his other paintings that have been restored or that are in better condition. But mostly the yellowing comes from, first of all, like all oil paint yellows. That's the one thing. Every oil paint yellows, no matter what, that's aging. It's not necessarily the paint that yellows, it's mostly the oils, but the paint also yellows. But like even your microwave is probably kind of yellowish. Like if you have a fridge or a you know, the white furniture, like white kitchen apparatuses, like you know, cheap white coated microwaves or toaster, you might realize at some point that, you know, the face turning towards the sunlight is kind of yellow, and the one not facing the sun is not as yellow, or maybe the opposite sometimes. And everything turns yellow over time. Like we turn yellow over time and eventually we die, and this is the same thing. Every matter is slowly decaying and transforming into something else, and no exception for the paint. So there is such a thing as aging of the paint. So you have to occasionally, every century, every couple centuries, you occasionally have to remove this varnish. And obviously also the varnish, it does yellow a lot. So everything yellows. Everything yellows, and the varnish here in this case is, I think, the main culprit. And you can see that by how, look, if I remove the filter, by how dark it is. This is not just the oil and the paint. This is not normal yellowing of the oil and paint. The oil and the paint, they slightly get yellowish over time. That's perfectly natural. But it's a gradual transition, and sort of everything yellows, like some pigment more than others, but everything slowly shifts. So it's unnoticeable, and you still get the same, you know, the same unity between the various pigments. So everything yellows at the same time, so you don't necessarily notice too much that is happening because it's very even. But the thing, when you see something this dark and dim like that, it's the varnish, because the varnish is kind of like a screen that's been laid down on top of the painted surface, that obscuring, because it's turning yellow over time, that's obscuring and capturing some of this light and making it hard to cross. Like there's a sort of a trap for the light that supposedly is supposed to hit the canvas and come back to your eye, but some of it is absorbed by this yellow varnish, so it makes everything super dim like that. So try to digitally improve it. So you'll tell me what you think. Good evening, all from York, England. Good evening, Richard. We all live in a yellow submarine. Exactly. That's the whole point of the song. It's the whole point of the song. All right, let's start this painting. So, all right. Gosh, I'm kind of tired today, but I'm also super hyped. So I don't know what to do. I'm in between states in my brain. I think I'm gonna hype myself up by just enjoying this painting so much. How does it work? How does it work again? If you're new here, let's run over the basics of how this thing works. This is the Atelier of Figurative Arts with yours truly. We all get to learn realistic drawing and painting together. You can join as a free member. It's all free. There's a triad, YouTube, Patreon, Discord. You download the assignment sheets. Then you can do the assignments. If you want, you can check out my Patreon because I have other extra help there. And you can check out my course. And then what you can do is you can check out the Atelier Discord, which is here. Let me bring it here to you. Let's do that. Okay. And yeah, here you can participate. Sorry, it's very confusing because there's so many screens, but here you can participate if you want. You can post your results. You can ask your questions. Some people painted tomatoes, great paintings. Some people painted portraits. Some people asking for help and all. So overall, great community experience. These paintings are made to be painted, and they are made to be painted together. Discord. Oh, Felicia, you are right to remind me. I'm activating right now. Sorry, I'm lacking my obligations. There you go. It should be up. It should be up now. All right. Yeah. How does this work? We're gonna make it as Caravaggio made it. So with no preparatory drawing, and you can notice that even for level 1 and level 2, I didn't suggest that you do an outline. Why? Because apparently, but I don't know how true it is, or you know, I'm not an absolute expert on this question, but apparently Caravaggio didn't really use drawing, as we have no very rare traces of drawings from his hand. So like compared to Da Vinci, Raphael, even Michelangelo, where you still have tons of drawings, like preparatory drawings. In the case of Caravaggio, like, we have nothing. It can be that it was destroyed, it can be that it was lost. A lot of the drawings of the Renaissance were lost in time, you know, how things happen. Like, you know, the people didn't think that they had the same value. It's like when you build the cathedral, you don't keep the scaffolding, and in their head it basically had the same sort of value. So a lot of this was lost in time. So that's one reason that might explain why we don't have traces of drawings by Caravaggio. Another reason is, like, he simply didn't care. He had a very fast life. Fast life, fast, you know, fast person. I wouldn't say fast cars, fast women, but, well, fast sword, fast bar fights, fast paintings, fast exiles, and maybe he didn't have the time to do this, and he had to paint quickly. Just took the first hobo in the street, paint him, making one of the most beautiful paintings in the world, and give this the name of the saint that's supposed to be painted, and, you know, be spared for your life and and forgiven by the courts for contributing with amazing art, even though you have a troubled life. That's Caravaggio for you. And maybe his life was so so troubled and busy, so chaotic, that he didn't have time for menial things such as drawings. So today we're not gonna have time for drawings either. And let me take this. Sorry. All right. Fast cars with 4 horsepower. It's hard to say. Please add some tips about preparing reference photos for portraits in Photoshop. I don't have any. Just use Photoshop. Use it well. Like, go to a Photoshop channel. If you want tips on how to what kind of light, if you take a photo of your subject, and if you want to, you know, like, if you have a bad photo of your subject, I don't know. I don't think Photoshop can really fix it for you. Well, you can improve it, but I don't know. It's not really my forte. But I do have, you know, general knowledge of how to take good photos. Obviously, because I have to, you know, understand video, lenses, exposure, stuff like that for the videos, right? So I'm pretty good at it. But you know, good materials makes 50% of the work, I'd say, maybe more. All right, so we're gonna start with a black background. I have a good video in my Patreon collection that I found helpful as far as Photoshop references in the behind the scenes. Oh yeah. Yeah, I talk about this stuff on Patreon, but I'm not going to include it here. It's like for family and friends. I'm sorry my screen is hiding here. I'm so hyped and warmed up. No, actually I'm not warmed up, but I'm already starting to heat up from, you know, the excitement of painting my favorite artist, that I'm going to take this layer off. Oh gosh. I'm also going to change my headphones right now before I forget. And before I start. You got any acrylics tip right now, because I started acrylic? No, my main tip is don't use acrylic. That's my main tip. Oh yeah, sorry, it's not centered properly, but hey, look at this chemo. I'm using a panel for today. Using a panel and using a actually, oh okay. There was an egg in the back of this panel. It's MDF panel. The thing that I recommend to most of you if you're studying, sorry, I need to remove this. The thing that I'm recommending to most of you if you're doing studies and all is use MDF. So basically just like wood, just go to a hardware store and pick up any like form of, you know, compressed wood. MDF is medium density fiber wood, I think, whatever, like it's like, you know, it's recomposed wood. Here it is. And I recommend it, like, look, for studies, This is the best thing you can use, and I use it. I don't necessarily have the time to gesso it, and this is the thing, you have to gesso. I don't always have the time for it, but when I do, when I have a paint, sorry, when I have a painting that I actually care about, I try to do this. Oh my gosh, it's dirty. I absolutely don't care about this egg, so like whatever happens to it, I don't care. Like most of these stuff that I do, typically I do on painting paper because it's the fastest to prepare for me. And right now, this one, I just had a little bit of time this morning to gesso, but I did gesso it yesterday night, so 2 coats, yesterday evening, and this morning. So normally it should be enough for the gesso to really settle properly, not be humid and all. It's not wet, no humidity left, so I'm optimistic for this one, but it's risky. It's risky. Should leave it for a couple days if you have the opportunity. In hundreds of years, the sculptors will depict the significance of the egg on the back. Well, thank you, Sue. You're way too nice, but I doubt that they will be interested in this study work. But I'm interested in it. And I hope that you are, because it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna start with dark. It's gonna start with darkness, with burnt umber and ultramarine blue, and it's gonna be awesome. You know, we're gonna cover this like there's no tomorrow. It's gonna be pitch black, and out of this pitch black environment, we're gonna try to lift off a glimpse of light. I'm just gonna double check the placement here on my model screen. For today, I'm not gonna bother with the hands, I think. So I'm at 33 zoom. Yeah, I need to check because I didn't print this model. I need to check the positioning of my screen. Pro tip, when you're streaming and using a computer screen for your model, always put some tape to measure and put some notes right there. The corner here is here, so I'm just gonna note. I'm noting the position of my screen with my model. So now I can always put it back in the original place. Actually, put it slightly higher. This is a pro tip, mostly if you mess around a lot with your computer screen or your tablet or whatever. Okay, should be good. How do you proportion the primary colors while mixing in the palette? Now, I don't have anything as primary in my head. I don't think primary, but I do think about main colors. But there are 6 of them, And I don't call them primary. I think primary is kind of a not a very helpful notion. Well, the way it's been taught in most art education so far. I'm bashing like 90% of the color theory out there, but I think that it's much better to think about main colors that are spread around the color wheels. Just check out my color wheel. Will be much easier to figure out how I see colors. So I try to have a representative of every main color source, not just red, blue, and yellow. I try to have a yellow, I try to have a red, a magenta, a blue, and a green, and a cyan. I don't have a cyan today. Might have a need for a cyan, but I do know that Caravaggio didn't have one and didn't need one, so not so crucial here in my case. Now I'm gonna take some straight up mineral spirits and paint away, my friends, paint away. Actually, I'm gonna work pretty dry for this one. Not gonna dilute a lot because I want to keep my brush work crisp, and I want to keep the energy in the strokes. So I want to dilute to get something fluid and all, but not too much. You know, I want to keep it creamy and buttery. Heavy cream, right? Not milk. And we're always talking about dairies here. And I'm doing it flat black, full force. Okay, I might spare this area right there. Okay? Because this will be our man's skull here. So I'm gonna spare it. This area right there, this area, the hands should be right here. Okay, see how it goes? See how it goes? Not so bad, right? Not so bad. I pretend that I don't use acrylics, but sometimes do for sketches. Like, it really is painting with glue. Exactly, it's painting with glue. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging it. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody at least is saying it as it is. It is technically a polymer. I don't know exactly how you call that in chemistry, but one thing's for sure, it's not good for figuration. Okay. See, with my empty brush here, I'm sort of pushing my background, and I can use it, like, I can almost use this as a sort of a temporary palette. You know, use this to refill, save time. Don't worry, I'll fix it later, but... And you get a sort of a monstrous shape like that. But it's okay, don't worry. Everything's gonna be fine. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It so is. Greetings, black pixel dust. The tempera is a painting with glue in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you don't paint with glue, you paint with something light like charcoal. That's all. Or pastel, dry pastel. It's hard to not have glutinous materials and do something that's called a painting. You need to have something that will eventually harden and trap the pigments in place. Because you don't want all your pigments to fly away as soon as somebody sneezes on your work, right? You'll need some glue. It's just called the binder. But yeah, every glue can be used as a painting medium actually. Like you can use epoxy if you want. If you have like just 30 seconds to paint, you can use epoxy and paint with it. Don't recommend it, but like any translucent glutinous materials can be a painting medium. Just be creative if you want. Nobody's stopping you. Maybe common sense, but nobody's stopping you from not following common sense. The thing is not that the paint sticks to the surface after a certain amount of time. It's just how much time do you have to work before it's completely stuck. And how much time you need depends on how much time you need. Thank you for switching. How much time you need depends on what kind of art you want to make. If you want to make abstraction with, like, you know, lots of crackings, lots of creative effects, it might be a good idea to use something that's gluing the pigments faster and in a more solid, you know, way. So acrylics in this regard is much better. Is this acrylic or it's oil? Thank you, Cody. And also the consistency on the canvas. Yeah, the final sheen. But yeah, somebody finally noted today that painting is actually glue. Like paint binder is actually glue. When you bind the pigments together, you're gluing them to the canvas. That's all you're doing. Okay. We're gonna take our time because this one is going to go pretty fast. Well, it should if I don't mess up completely. We're using a dry brush to wipe off the colors. Yeah, right here I'm blocking in, so establishing the main masses of values. So I don't need much. Just a small amount can be enough to just shape it. And actually right there, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint the bottom though, because otherwise it's just going to be annoying to have all this white. I'm just going to add a touch of blue. I'm gonna just bring this bottom area right there. Good. some greenish, yellowish touches here. Just it's too green because this is my phthalo from earlier. Obviously, Caravaggio didn't have this phthalo, but whatever. I'm gonna just see right here. My goal of the moment is get rid of this nasty white. White is just so annoying and distracting. I don't know how to explain it. Makes it very hard to see the values. I see we have an event. Yeah, we do have an event, by the way. Yeah, thank you for reminding me, Cody. We do have an event. Sorry. In the Discord, this Thursday, we'll have a little gathering of sorts, and you can tell me how it goes, and if you have ideas for me in the future of how you would want these you know, the streams to go, the interaction, all. Well, we can discuss. I don't think I'm gonna bother with the hands for this one. I really don't feel like it. I think the face is enough, but the hands are a big part of, you know, the drama. So yeah, not sure. But yeah, we do have a gathering if you want to join on Thursday. Just a nice discussion, nice gathering of sorts. We'll talk about art, we'll talk about this. I want, you know, your ideas moving forward to make sure that this is an enjoyable experience for everybody. We'll have a little town hall meeting, I don't know. Something of the sorts. Just, you know, so that you let me know, you know, Florent, really, you can't continue like that, you have to stop. Like, realistically, you can't do that to us every week. You can't, you have to, whatever, like, whatever your grievances are, come and give them, bring them to the table. So right here, not a lot of difference between this black of the shadows, which is why I reserved it. This black of the shadows here, and the black of the background, which is the full power of chiaroscuro. Is like you have like 50% less to paint. Look at this. Already half of the head has been painted. Look at this. It's like magic. Oh, the ear. I don't like the ear. Okay. Oh, it's painted. Well, almost. Well, we can, you know, do a little this and that. Put some details here if you want, but like the main tone is laid down. Obviously, if you change the exposure and all, you'll see more details in the background, but we don't care about what we don't see, right? So everything that can't be seen in the original model, well, in the model that we use, not in the original, in our own model, is fair game. Like, we can ignore whatever it is that we don't see. So whenever you do one of the assignments, if let's say your printer messes up and it makes everything all blue and dark, well, you paint what you see. You paint how you see it. Just that's good enough. You're not painting for a museum here. Perhaps I should use this technique in my painting. I would paint much faster, I'm sure. Well, just go ahead, try it. You know, remove half of your subjects by placing them in such strong shadows that you basically don't have to paint them. And oh yeah, you bet, you're gonna save some time. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Alright, now it's time to actually stop messing around and do this more seriously. Okay, so the nose, I'm keeping it here. I was keeping it full later. I was not detailing the nose, and I was right because it was too low, so it's more like this. Also, something you can do to speed up your painting time is to paint just old men like that. Old men are in Chiaroscuro are a fascinating subject. Because they sort of invite the brushwork. Like, look at this. It's like, it's already looking like an old man. You can't do that with an absolutely beautiful female subject, right? This is not a possibility, but it's a possibility with an old dude. They attract the brushwork naturally. I'm going to use a touch of this white here in the beard, not because I've seen the detail, but because this little touch of white is going to help me locate the bottom of the beard, this part of the chin. I think this, man, I need to mix more of my black already. Gosh, it flies so fast. Looks like one of your university professors. Exactly! Paint all your university professors. That's what you want to do. Best subject. And because of the power of this chiaroscuro is like, really, like if you look at what I have here, I have almost nothing. And if it was just something in the background, let's say you have this character a little small in the background, you can leave it like that, and that can be enough, even in realism. And it's just a couple of strokes, like not even painted strokes. I did this with my little folded piece of paper towel here. It's not even painting. Look at this, like I'm not even using actual artist tools. What a disgrace. But actually, it's the best thing. I'm telling you, old dudes. Great to paint. Old dudes with wrinkles in chiaroscuro, with a beard. And you can do better than that. As a training ground. It's the precision of how you apply it. Yeah, sure, but you know, this is something you learn. Like I wasn't born with this precision, but I couldn't do that with a perfect Bouguereau-like female subject. Let me show you. For example, I'm actually painting one at the moment, so I'm going to show you. Or well, yeah, you can. But you have to be seriously in chiaroscuro. For this model here, the baby, the beautiful woman and all, like you can't do the same. You have to apply yourself and you have to be tighter. Because, you know, you can't mess up with the placement of the eye, you can't mess up with the skin tones, You can't mess up with the brushwork. It has to feel all perfect now. With a dude like that, whatever goes. He's ugly to start with, so you're not gonna just make him more ugly, and you can just make it more, you know, that's fun. So, for a perfectly idealized female model, you can place it in a very strong chiaroscuro setup, and you can still get away with some of the techniques, but you have to be much sharper in how you apply it. You can't just mess around as I did. You have to be slightly more, have to apply yourself a little bit more. No, that's not Felix. My first initial prep drawing was Felix, but then I needed a different angle, but for my prep drawing I used Felix. Just I had a photo, but then I changed the face and all. So, and it was never the plan to have it in the final painting. But he's one of the inspirations, of course. Of course. I met an artist who called subtractive underpainting as painting in the spirit. I like it. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna use this brush here. Okay. Now I'm gonna start getting more seriously in the shapes. Yeah, right? I tell you, yeah, old men invite this method. They sort of they carry the brush strokes on them already. Just have to put them under the right light, and that's it. I don't have the ultramarine blue that I normally use, and it's messing up with my darks. Oh, here it is. Oh my god. Running dangerously low. Maybe it's because of this darn blue challenge. You know, not all ultramarine blues are created equal. And this one by Winsor Newton just gets much darker than the others. It's just better. It's just better, that's all. Not sponsored. You create by erasing, that's interesting, yeah. in this case, yeah, it works well. Thank you, Zapro. Welcome here, welcome to the club. You need to join the Discord, because if you think that this is amazing, wait to see what the amazing people in the community create and how fun the interactions are with them every day. That's really cool. A really inspiring community. Sorry, readjusting my screen. You know, I'm picky and all, but you know, I want to give you the best experience. Let's go for this one. All right. Yeah, well, I can show you. I mean, I just readjusted my screen, but I'm gonna attempt this. How can I do that? Yeah, well, here it is. This is yeah. Typically, I didn't want to move my camera. It's just that, you know, I have my screen here, and just put my taped, and I noted the zoom level is just. Because, you know, I have to juggle between various screens while I'm streaming, you know, to deal with you guys. So I need to take notes, because sometimes I you know, I de-zoom, and then my reference is not the one I had anymore. Like I need to put it back. So I need to put it back at 33%. And put it back here, and this is it. That's all. That's all. Not more complicated than that. Okay, let's go back to our previous viewing spot. Do we still have it? Oh, we still have it. I think we still have it. All right. Yeah, it's not sophisticated or anything. It's just very, very basic stuff. And it's not even a real trick unless you do some streaming or complicated screen stuff while you paint. Most people prefer to print, and I agree, it's better. But I hate printers with a passion. Like, I think that my ultimate punishment wouldn't be to send me in jail, wouldn't be to, you know, to give me forced labor or anything, or, you know, you know, you can do whatever you want, but don't force me to use a printer for a long time. Like, this would be hell on earth to just, you know, you have to print constantly with a printer that decides exactly when it wants to work and when it wants to give you a weird error code that if you just reboot, sometimes it works again, sometimes it doesn't, but you're never really sure. And before it gives you the error code, it has to like spend 10 minutes wiggling and, you know, making random noises that you know are absolutely useless and are just being created to drive you crazy. I hate printers with a passion, my friends. I'm sorry. It's like, I mean, do what you want of me, but don't put me in a room with printers. They're evil. They're evil. They have a mind of their own. They are evil. They're here to make you waste time. They have been created to make you waste time on purpose. They have been created to, you know, get in your soul and just wreck it. We need a printer command. No, no. And you know what? I bought a new computer, and I still have to use my old computer just to print. Because apparently the new one, which is supposed to be, you know, more updated and all, like, you know. But the printer is not recognized on my new computer, so I have to pick up my old computer that doesn't have battery at all, that always gives me, you know, error messages already. Like the computer already is like, it's gone, but the computer had done its time. He did his job, right? It's just my old computer. But I have to use it. I have to. It's like use. It's like, imagine it's like a veteran, and you have to take it out of retirement to go to war against this spawn of the devil. Every time you have to print something. So no, I don't print my references, even though. But if you like this sort of torture, go ahead and just print your own. It's generally better to have your model printed. Okay, so here my face is too big still. The nose can be shortened. The iPad does a great job, yeah. Well, if you have a nice screen that's nicely calibrated, it's good. Don't tell me about my screen, by the way, because it's not calibrated. I'm a professional, by the way. When I calibrate this screen, it becomes less good than originally. So I have to manually calibrate it. And I do a better job than my Spider Pro thingy. And ultimately, I don't care enough about all this technology to really give it enough of my time. Because, you know, calibrating your screen is a full day of work. I don't want to, you know, waste a full painting day or something like that. Oh my gosh, no, Cody, don't do that. It's my nightmare. Yeah, come dress up to my house as a printer, and I will be scared. I might throw some holy water at you though. I'll be scared. No, I've tried the drivers, I've tried everything, and you know what? I've spent days, entire days, fixing up. And I know about this stuff. Like I'm not a bad, you know, guy when it comes to computer. Like I set up a stream where I have like various options. I can give you a sound, I can put music, like I can change screen with the tip of a finger. I know about this stuff. I calibrated like tons of stuff. It just doesn't work because it has a because it has a mind of its own. Not the drivers, that's what they want you to know. They want you to believe that it's because of the drivers. Oh, they drive you insane, that's all. That's for sure. They drive you insane, that's one thing. Not the drivers. Or don't you think I've tried them all? No, they just have a they're up to get you, that's all. That's all. I came to this conclusion. It can't be anything else. They're there to get you. What can I say? Yeah, exactly. But maybe when they're waiting for ChatGPT to take over, and then we're done. We're done. They're always going to need magenta, and every day you're gonna need to bring just magenta. Otherwise, they'll just refuse to do anything. And then when you bring the magenta, they of course need cyan. Who's there to get you? Well, printers. Oh no! Cody! No, you can't do that. No! Who are you? You're one of them! You're one of them! Oh gosh. Do they have an emoji? Do they actually have an emoji? Oh my god.
Emoji wall unlocked. This is chaos. Seriously, we need to break YouTube with emojis. We have 1 minute. Let's go chat. We can do it.
Gosh.
Let's go chat.
I'm looking for the printer.
Quick. Spam
oh,
emojis.
They do! Oh my god!
We need to fill the screen.
They do have a printer!
No time to waste. I'm serious. We have to spam emojis in chat now before the timer runs out. Hurry up. Quick.
Oh my god, they do
Let's go chat.
One. This is horrible!
We have to spam emojis in chat now before the timer runs out. No time to waste. I'm serious.
It's nightmarish! No!
Let's go chat.
I refuse!
Let's go chat. Let's go chat.
I
Let's
refuse!
Go chat.
No! Stop! Ah!
Hurry up. It ends in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop.
And this kids is how the takeover of the machines actually started. This is how the machine took over. Those with the horizontal replay will not catch it. It's just, you have to check out the stream on YouTube actually. Just go ahead if you want. not interesting, but this is how the takeover of the machine started. It all started with printers. I don't have scary music. Actually, this is the most scary that I have. Oh yeah, it's not scary. Well, anyway.
No, God! No,
this
God,
is just
please, no! 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 No!
Alright, let's stop the silly nonsense. Gosh, the things you make me do. Gosh, the things you make me do, my friends. Yeah, just saying that, yeah, I'm not printing my models. How did we come to this discussion? I don't know. Yeah. This is how this stream works, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so right here I'm focused on the position of the eyebrow, mostly position of the bottom of the nose. Then I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to use favorite painter is Caravaggio, but yeah, we can have a round in the chat of all of you guys' favorite painters. It'll be interesting. Okay, I was actually changing this shape before I got interrupted by silly gooses. Geese. Geese. Who decided that the plural of a goose is geese? Like, what's the reasoning? Don't get me started about geese. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't have anything against geese. Are there some geese frightened people here in the chat? Still rather be bitten by geese than have to use a printer. These are kind of cute. They are. You like it's not that they do this everywhere, okay. This stage is really values only. I don't really care that much about the hue, the chroma too much. Just as long as I have the value, the right spot. It's dim enough and dark enough and low chroma enough so that I can figure out later by retouching what I couldn't do with the first couple brush strokes. So as long as the right shape is at the right spot, it's just what I want. For example, this kind of greenish tone, like right there, it's not good, but it's not because of the hue or the values, because it's just
Command, zooming in for 10 seconds.
It's not just the right spot. So actually, I'm gonna retouch it right now because I'm
Zooming out.
While I'm seeing it. Sort of a greenish yellow or yellowish green, I don't know. Yeah, it zooms for everybody. We share the cameras. Well, you can also zoom in, like you can do the pinching zoom with your own phone. That's your zoom. But if you type exclamation point zoom, that's for everybody, yeah. It's hard to paint with a black background when you're doing Caravaggio. The black background is actually sort of the engulfing energy that, you know, it's like the matrix of every color. Every color emerges.
Screenshot taken in the Discord.
Every color emerges out of the darkness and comes back to the darkness. It's like with a chiaroscuro in the style of Caravaggio, it's the painting is the journey of the colors out of the darkness and back to the lightness, the darkness. They allow, you're allowed to see them for, you get a glimpse of a story. It starts here and then back to the darkness. So the entire form is rounded up with this engulfing darkness. Yeah, I know. That's the crazy thing, is like, especially when I show you the original painting, like it's crazy dark, and it's just like, it doesn't look like nothing at all. And photo really don't give these kinds of painting justice. Photo don't give justice to any paintings, but at least some paintings can hold up slightly better. But these ones, especially when you have poor lighting conditions in the room, and sometimes some of these museum lights are just abysmal. And I'm sorry, they're supposed to be professionals and all, but they just simply don't know how to properly light a room full of paintings. And the only thing they would need to do is read Da Vinci in his own words, because he actually has written about the type of light that people were supposed to get when experiencing his paintings. He was so into he was just giving advice on how to avoid glare. It's pretty simple. He knew about the reflective nature of the glossy oil paint, and he knew that to enjoy his very dark paintings, you have to, position yourself at an angle that limits the glare. So he wrote about it, as he did for a lot of things. But people from the 20th century apparently are too lazy to consider menial things such as how to properly light extremely valuable paintings and national treasures. Okay, whatever, do what you want with your And obviously with modern art, with the advent of modern art, they got even further away from the idea of lighting the paintings properly, because for modern art it doesn't matter. You can you have the the famous clean white cube. So everything has to be a clean white cube, because apparently the work stands out much better in a clean white cube, in a completely empty white room. Well, guess what? For an old painting, traditional style, it's not modern art, the painting hates these sort of white cubical rooms. That's not how you light a traditional painting. If anything, you want dark room, very dark room. You want strong light sources, but dark rooms. And you want a comfy environment. You don't want this sterile white, emptiness. It's typically modernist, this idea that the best way to to exhibit a work is to put it in this kind of very sterile and boring white environment. Well, it's not the best way, at least with these paintings. You put one of these Caravaggio in one of these white rooms, you basically see nothing. So obviously you'll think, oh, this traditional painting was really bad, like you couldn't see much, like these guys didn't know how to paint. Well, this modern sculpture back there is looking great. It's been painted with fluorescent light, fluorescent paints. No, really great and innovative, you know. Yeah, of course. This is unfair for the old painting to put it in unfair light. No comparison. Alright, I'm gonna start building up my light values here in a couple minutes. I'm gonna mix more because I want the thickness, I want the crisp brushwork. I want the brush stroke retention, and I want the energy of the hand. Bring back architectural art in museums. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bring back floor to ceiling. Yeah, it wasn't the optimal way though, either. But Da Vinci knew that, and he actually talked about a small stair device for people to enjoy. So you'll make the viewing angle better by stepping up on some stairs to view the painting from slightly from above, so that you won't be, you won't be bothered by the skylight. Are these acrylics or oils? Oils. The Tate in London is like a trip to the dentist to clinical. Okay, let's double check the shapes before we move on. The black mirror is your best friend when you do this sort of paintings. Super valuable viewing tool. Sorry, I know I'm not progressing much. I'm taking my time. Maybe too much. I was hoping to go a bit faster, but you know how we are here. You know how we are. Taking time is part of the game. Trapped in the Black Mirror episode. It looks like Black Mirror episode though. You have to stream 24/7. Some genuine streamers have straight up Black Mirror experiences every day. It's like those who have sleeping streams talk about insanity. Those who watch sleeping streams. And yes, this is a thing. I'm kind of late. When I'm thinking late here, I'm thinking about this angle. No, I'm ahead in time actually. Yeah, okay. It's just how I visualize angles. Don't worry about me. Might be late, but it's a different reason. You know what? Let me just grab I'm gonna grab a little filter here on my screen. I'm going to increase the lightness to check the actual shapes. You want to do? Okay, no, sorry, I don't want this. Okay, see, using a filter just to visualize the shapes, see what the artist actually intended, especially for this here, because without the filter I basically can't see where the beard ends and where the... So I'm using the filters here just to locate my main elements. Putting my picture back in place. This is the place that I need for my optimal viewing experience. Now I'm back to painting. Sending memes to wake up the streamer. Well, I assume that they make a lot of money while sleeping, so I'm not gonna say that it's done. You know? It's actually extremely smart. Wish I could get paid for sleeping, yeah. Crazy, not a lot of jobs allow you to do that. Like maybe mattress tester. Like really, that's the dream job. Like, how many mattress testers are there already? How do you how do you actually say to people, hello, my name is Mike and I'm a mattress tester? Like, how do people really take you seriously? There has to be a mattress tester though. When the printers take over, we'll all be sleeping. Also, you're describing the Matrix. That's what. That's exactly what I was trying to warn you about. Now you're starting to think. Now you're starting to think. Now you're aware. Oh, testing sleeping pills. Yeah, sure. Ice cream tasters. So yeah. Now you're talking. What's the best? What would be the best job? The best job that when you say it to people, they're like, what? How is it even possible? You were a biscuit taster for a while? Are you kidding? Are you kidding us? Retail will always be one of the weirdest jobs. Artist is not a job, is another excuse for unemployed. If you make art as a job, it's like, it's just not art, you're just doing something else. It's too red. Totally serious? Oh. Well, you have to explain to us, how do you become a biscuit taster? Like, you know, some people might want to make a career. How does one become a biscuit taster? That's the real question here. Oh. My wife's gonna be happy that I wore my apron today. She's always like, hey, you got paint stains on your shirts. I've got an apron. I was lucky that the brush dropped just on the apron. Hey, I'm back. Join the Discord. Thank you. Thank you, Nina. Welcome to the Discord. Welcome here. Okay. Very conservative brushwork, I've got to say. You can almost count them. I don't have the texture yet. How far am I? Almost 2 hours. Man. I think I'll have the perfect texture around the 3.5 hour mark when the paint starts to dry on the canvas. No, Nina, you have to be tidy. Your shirt shouldn't be full of paint. It doesn't look artsy, it's just a health issue. I think you should technically be capable of painting in your best wedding costumes or attire. Your best, like, in theory, this is how tidy you should be painting. Hello, Alberto. What's your birthday suit? Exactly, like the dandy gentleman painting. Exactly, that's what you want. No, but seriously, it's like, I know it's fun and all, and makes it look artsy, but it's just some hazardous materials just on you all the time. It's like having a giant bucket, an open bucket of mineral spirits under your easel, and just beating the devil out of your brush every couple minutes. This is also a bad idea. So if you want to be serious about that, you want to limit the mess to the minimal amount. At least you don't mess with the paint. The paint doesn't mess with you, so you don't mess with the paint. You have some cadmium in this stuff. You have some heavy metal elements. You have some stuff that are pretty nasty. They are actually pretty safe. They are pretty nasty if you don't use them properly, and one of the ways in which you're not using them properly is by, having stains of paint all over your apron. Like, your apron is there as a protection. See, when I put paint on my apron, I clean my apron. Maybe I'm too tidy, but I don't want to carry this stuff with me all the time. At least I remove the biggest, the biggest part. Oh, birthday suit is slang for okay. I get it. Oh my god, you got me. You got me. Never heard of that. I know a couple things in slang, but I never heard of it. Well, now that I think about it, yeah. No, it's clear. Well, you can paint in your birthday suit, by the way. It's like no problem. I think it's pretty safe, as long as you don't have any, things dangling. But pretty safe. Much better than to paint in a birthday suit than to paint in a dirty apron or t-shirt or shirt or whatever. Sorry, I have to use tiny strokes here. Then I'll use a couple It's just I'm kind of painting the foundation. And then I'll do the highlights with a couple decisive strokes. First I need to do this kind of foundation. What this painting is, but I have terrible ventilation, so I'm gonna do without. Well, yeah, you can. Just do a la prima mostly, and you don't necessarily need that much. You can use just oil. So every time you need to thin down the paint, you just use oil. Just avoid excess. Just remember that oil should be used quite sparingly, otherwise you expose yourself to drying problems. But yeah, it's definitely possible. When to use a brush and when to use a palette knife to mix colors? Any guidance? So the palette knife, is more for the heavy lifting. You know, you mix the big stacks of paint, and the brush is for picking. You don't mix with your brush, but you adjust with your brush. So for example here, I want to pick some of this mid-tone, but it's not red enough, so I'm gonna pick up a touch of red. I'm gonna adjust it on the side. Right? That's all I'm doing, right? I'm not using it to mix too much. I adjust and pick. All I'm doing. So you preserve your brush basically. And most of the heavy lifting is done with the palette knife. So when you need a big quantity of this, big quantity of this, and this, and this. If you do that with your brush, like the force, see the force, it makes my camera shake. The force you have to put to press the paint and just spread it up and all. Do that with your brush. You're gonna ruin your brush in a couple hours, and the paint is going to go all the way into the ferrule very quickly, and it's like you can say goodbye to your brush. So heavy lifting with palette knife. Some people do paint with palette knife. I've never been a big. This is never been my strength. I admire the art of painting with a palette knife, but I'm very bad at it. Yeah, fine tuning. Yep, fine tuning is a. But it does more than tuning, though. The brush is more. It's even more than that. But for color, in terms of color, yeah. Just in terms of mixing. Because after that, the brush has many other uses that the pad doesn't have. Hey Manda, thank you. How do you stay inspired to paint at all? That's the problem. I like painting. Sometimes I as anybody, I get stuck. I get into, you know, the downward spiral of self-doubt and all, and it gets more difficult to paint. Well, I'm pretty lucky because there's two sides to what I do. I have, you know, the kind of the technical teaching side of it, which is what we're doing here. We're, you know, learning and all. So this never gets old. Like, this is always fun. First of all, it's fun, even for me. I enjoy, you know, sharing. And well, this sometimes it gets old though. Like the YouTube aspect of it, like chasing views and stuff. This can kind of get old, but painting in the mindset of teaching, this is typically it's always good. But sometimes when it comes to your you know, what I call my main art, sometimes it gets difficult. And how do you stay inspired? It's like, what I usually do is I'll just switch hats. Like, I'll switch to teaching for a while, so I'll stay busy painting, but I'm not, you know, taking risks. I'm painting, you know, teaching materials, so don't care that much. If I fail, I fail, whatever. So I'll switch hats. That's what I'll do. If you don't have this, you know, teaching side, then what I recommend is to switch medium. Just go find inspiration in the world of music, in the world of acting, in the world of dancing and performance, and you'll come back with a refreshed perspective and probably new ideas. Okay, so I've got something wrong with this nose that I have to figure out right now. Okay, I get it. So this shape here, larger, this. Got some shapes that don't work together, so it's a sign that something is off. Ouch. An art journal helps, yeah, definitely. Nope. No, 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 no. It's not it. So it's the opposite then. So this little scratching here is going to help me reshape this entire side. Basically, it's giving me a little visual landmark that I can aim for. I bought an ocarina and I'm playing Baby Shark. I'm gonna assume that you're a dad, so you'll get a pass. Well, I think you are a dad, by the way, yeah. My memory is correct. Ah. Yeah, I knew it! Do a lot of stupid things when you're parenting. Okay, so quick nose job. Quick nose job for our man Peter here. Eye is a little too low. Gonna get an eye job. For not much. I'm gonna finish the nose fast. Always like that. The more you paint, the more you realize what's going on. Pretty typical. So, I want to focus on this shadow shape here. Starting with this one. Okay. Scratch off the old paint to make way for the new one. Hey, Nico. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's see. There's actually a red touch right there. I just noticed. No, more than that. Is there this almost a pure red brush mark? it would be perfectly workable in just a few hours. I don't think I'll have the time. Is like you work with the texture of the paint, and slowly as it dries, it becomes more precise. So typically a work like that is executed in 5 to 6 hours, and when you reach the final hour, like the 6 hours, the 6th hour, the paint becomes super disciplined, because first of all it's starting to dry under your brush, and it kind of settles, right? But in the beginning it's very fluid and hard to control, and the more you go as you paint, the more disciplined it gets naturally. Linen is my preference for small studies. I like the boards. Very often I use paper to save time, but I do like painting boards like that. This is what I'm using right now. It's very good for the extra fine texture. Don't have this annoying canvas grain. And then obviously I work mostly on canvas, because past a certain size, canvas is the only viable option. We can paint on dye bond for larger surfaces because it's light. No, it's like, but in my case it's just for studies, so it's in our case it's just MDF. If you can't go to our school, Chuck, just check our links and go to our Discord and check out our open atelier and do this. Do the assignments with us every week, twice a week. I think it's better than art school. You can do it from home. And you can go to a real school instead. You still learn better than in... Alright, let's try not to be too rude, but better than in 75% of art schools out there. I don't know. It's not very good anywhere. Well, at least it's not very good if you want to learn this kind of painting. In portrait, definitely. You're not gonna learn how to become a portrait artist in an art school. Unless you go to an atelier style art school, like the Grand Central, Florence Academy. But if you're considering to not go to art school anyway, it's no point. Well, yeah, I studied philosophy.
Command, zooming in for 10
I
seconds.
taught myself how to paint, so I'm gonna take a short break.
Screenshot taken in the Discord.
And I'm gonna grab something to
Zooming
eat.
out.
But I'll be back soon. I'll be back. Give me 2 minutes. Alright, you'll have something to watch when I'm gone. Alright, I'm back. Actually, it's nice. Don't have to paint at all. Oh. I'm seeing that my painting is too wide. I'll fix it later. Yeah, sure. I want to do that. It's just, it's not finished. Now I can make just this portrait, what I have so far. I was waiting for it to have the full thing. Yeah, one day. Yep. Not much, I didn't miss much, I was taking a break. Still am. Using the magic of pre-recorded video. Using the magic of pre-recorded videos to, you know, give myself a little break.
But alors, you are French.
Les gens qui parlent en français, ils ont tellement de charisme. Vive la France!
From France. Exactly, Japan. All right, let's. continue where we left off. So I figured that figured it was too large in my painters are the best printers. Yeah, well, if you think about it, when I paint a portrait commission for one of my clients, you can be guaranteed that the image will last for a couple centuries if it's properly handled, right? If it's not lost, not thrown in the trash or left in the wild. But if you think about it, the picture with proper care can stay for generations. You can say the same of a printed image that you did print with a cheap printer. And for a lot of people, it's kind of like, if you're a portrait artist, it's a sales argument. It's an actual argument. Like a lot of people are actually quite sensitive to this issue. Is what's going to be left of all the pictures you have in your phone in a couple decades? Maybe some of them will be preserved, but how do you keep these memories? And how do you keep them just more than just pictures, but as sort of a treasured memory? And for that, a painting is exactly what you want. Nothing's better than a painting for this sort of thing. You guys and your printer profiles, I hate you. You're horrible. Horrible! You put printer profiles and I'll do Crisps ASMR. Or Chips, whatever. It's not my problem, you can figure out the name. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you wanna play dumb? Thank you, the pro. No, but really, who here likes printing? Like, seriously, I don't want to raise the issue again, but... like, am I the only one? Is this a conspiracy against me, or... does anybody enjoy printing? Let me know, like, because... it's a real subject here. I can't, like, people are using this as their profile pictures. It takes a special kind of twisted mind to put such an abomination as your printer profile, as your picture profile. Where is this one? Look at this horror. What is this? Is this a... Oh no, it's not a printer. Is this a printer? I can't see that my image is so tiny. Look at this monstrosity. Oh. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Sid, it doesn't cut it. It's like, how come the issue is always like somehow the printer like takes like 45 minutes just making random noises, and then it finally decides that nah, you know, no, I'm not printing today. There's an error like B200 and just deal with it. Paint is slowly starting to become more docile. Gracias. Well, serious questions, hard work, and understanding values. I would say a lot of hard work and a lot of understanding values and a lot of understanding the brushwork, so pressure, angles. Yeah, more the second one. What a horrible topic for a conversation. Who would be interested in that? That's a horrible subject. Like, who would want to discuss printers? They're horrible. Printers are spawn of nightmares and are not interesting. We're not gonna make this a topic of conversation again. Stop. Gosh. What am I supposed to do with you? Seriously. Eating chips. Not necessarily thicker, but yeah, less medium. Yeah. Oh. Our 3D printers are as awful as normal printers, or even worse. I never used a 3D printer. Oh, patience is a learned something you have to learn. But in our case, I'm in good company, so I don't get bored. Sometimes I do get bored, so I put some music or watch something in the background. Like, not watch, but you know, have a video, podcast, or something in the back. How come The 3D printers are more reliable. How can it be? How can you make it more? You know, how can you make it more reliable to print 3D objects than print simple images? Yeah, thanks. Thanks for hanging out. See you around. Yeah, they're designed this way. It's like dishwashers. Like pretty much all the machines we have right now are designed to break. They're scheduled. My favorite color would be cyan and call it turquoise. This would need just an hour or two more to become perfectly workable. I'll probably have to do multi-coats if I want to finish it. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm pretty happy with what I have. I'm not gonna hunt for absolute perfection for studies. I think it's good enough. But yeah, it would typically, if I wanted to push it to the level that I normally push my paintings, would let it dry overnight and come back the next day. A couple more hours. The thing is, when the paint dries, it becomes more disciplined. It's something you can get to do things that you can't when the entire paint surface is still wet and it's too wet on wet or some depending on the fluidity and the consistency, it's not as workable. So you want to follow, you want to be patient with your painting, wait for it to be ready. It's almost like it matures. Yeah, so you can do things much differently when you let it dry. When you're using a lot of burnt umber in the paint, it dries very fast. So usually within the 6 hours that it takes for the paint to start to become slowly more dry, you get to reach a stage in which, yeah, I call this the disciplined stage, or the matured stage of the paint, where it becomes more usable. It's almost like it's following your progression. I like how you can vibe with your paint. It's almost like you get a transcendental experience with your paint, and you get to, both of you get a common reaction. So we start completely free and loose and completely careless, almost like a young puppy jumping everywhere, and you finish like a wise man, like an old wise man that knows where it's going. And the paint has the same sort of behavior. As it's drying, it starts to mature, and you also mature in your ideation of how to push the drawing further and what to do. So you both mature. It's a very transcendental experience. No, it depends mostly on the pigments. If you use a lot of burnt umber, like I do for the shadows, it will dry fast. If I come back tomorrow, this will be dry. And a final swoosh. That's what I'm talking about, becoming more disciplined.
Command, zooming in for 10 seconds. Zooming out.
Alright, I think this is it. This is it for us, my friends. I think I've got enough for today. A 3-hour session, nice. I don't think I'm gonna resist coming back tomorrow. I can make some more of these, well actually, hold on. Can make some more of these wrinkles. I have spotted one there.
Command, studio cam for 10 seconds.
Hello.
Back to normal.
Well, yeah. Not gonna bother. But yeah. Here, maybe here. We'll continue the discussion in Discord. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a thing that I do. I say that I'm gonna leave and then I come back, pick up my brush again. This is something that I always do in my studio. This was a fake goodbyes. This was a fake goodbye, but no, this was a real one. Okay, now it's a real one. I'm saying this to you, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Final one. Well, actually, but if I put this final one, I have to put the next one here. And the next one here. Okay. This time, it's really the final one. Goodbye.